At this time, they gave me a whole list of how to introduce these guys. It's pretty good, but I'm going to go with just the name of the company. I'll allow themselves to talk about themselves, which is what they should be good at, right? You guys talk about yourselves a lot?
No, we listen.
Oh, you listen, okay. Well, to the far right, we have Bob Nelson from Century 21. Next to him is Mark Stark, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Trish Nash of Signature Gallery of Homes. Give me a tough last name. Pablo Covarrubias. I think somebody brought their whole crew. All right, so in that order, we're going to start off with Bob. Just tell us about you, not specifically your company, but about you.
All right, my name is Bob Nelson. I've been licensed since 2003. I started as an agent with Century 21 Money World. Recognize some of my friends out there. Started on a team. From a team, went to a partner of the team. We grew to about 35 folks. And then the market decided to change, and I think many of us know what that's about. So our team went from 35 down to about 5. And then I became part of the management team at Money World and took over as a branch manager. I was there about 8 years until this fine gentleman bought our company out. And then I went to work for Mr. Stark for about 90 days. And then I was offered a position with Century 21, and I'm what they call a business consultant. So I go in between Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. I have about 58 companies that I work with, agents, brokers, teams. So it's really been a lot of fun to meet a lot of agents in different ways to do business. So that's what I'm doing. I'm honored to be here today, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let me start off by saying I agree with anything Pablo says. Thank you. Let's see, my story. I moved from Chicago, Illinois after high school to come here to go to hotel management school at UNLV. Worked my way through school while everyone was graduating, going to work at the hotels. I decided after working there that wasn't for me, and at 21 years old got my real estate license. Got to work with Mr. Bob Hamrick over there.
That was fun.
That was fun. We did have a good time. Been in it ever since, was very fortunate, sold for a little over 6 years, got into management, kind of grew up through the ranks of the organization. In 2004, because I like to buy high and sell low, I bought the company. Very good move. But it is. It's been a fun time. I have a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful girls, and very fortunate that I get to live my passion every day.
Trish.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Trish Nash. Hola, buenos días.
It's over, she won.
I also am from Chicago and was transferred to Louisville, Kentucky to work for a Fortune 500 company, moved to Las Vegas, and 9/11 hit, and that changed the economy, and I ended up getting laid off from this big Fortune 500 company and decided to get my real estate license. I was dating a real estate agent, and he told me, don't do it. You won't do well in real estate. And I'm really glad I didn't listen to him. So I got my license in 2001, and actually it was the beginning of 2002, and have been in real estate since. Have been with a franchise for 11 years, and now I'm with an independent company. Have a wonderful husband here who's here to cheerlead me in the front row. And I studied international business and Spanish in college. I lived in Madrid for 2 years, and so I have been a member of NAREP since 2006.
We have a good amount of emails here. How many actually listen to your significant other saying, don't do it, you're going to fail? Is that like a guarantee that you're actually going to succeed? So, Pablo?
Good afternoon. My name is Pablo Covarrubias. I own United Realty Group. I'm the broker there. And been in business 14 years. First of all, I want to thank NAREP for inviting me up here with all these folks. It's successful folks, my respects for everybody before we start kicking each other's behind, you know. But we're here. I've been in business 14 years. I've been one of the top Latino agents here in town. I started back in 2000. I was a cook for 13 years. I got my real estate license, working two full-time jobs, and I've been here in Las Vegas since I was 5 years old. I'm proud to say that I grew up in the ghetto, you know, 30 years in the projects. I seen my friends get killed, some were still in jail, you know, and I thank God and I'm blessed that I came out okay. And I'm here now. I've been successful in what I do. I have a passion for what I do, you know, and I live every day like it's my last day in this world. I think that's the main thing. I mean, we all here to accomplish our goals. That's great, but you know, that's what I teach my agents at the office. You know, you gotta work hard, play hard, and rest hard, right? So that's it.
Must be a really high split. We're cheering for you.
No fee, 100%.
Let's go right into it. Does it really matter anymore to go with a larger brand company, or has the internet leveled the playing field? Bob?
All right. You know, I think that the real key in today's market is, are you relevant? And interestingly enough, Inman just had a panel of agents that were very successful, and there were brokers as well as agents up in the Bay Area. And none of them were with a brand. But what they talked about is it's very important to have a good CRM. It's very important to have a good newsletter. It's very important to have a good website. It's very important. So I started in my mind adding that up. Okay, well, what is that cost to be relevant in their market? Because your SOI is not going to carry you through with Facebook and all that. In fact, NAR states that nearly 80% of the people would buy from their agent again if they could remember who they were. And we as a community have not done a good job staying in touch with our people as we should have. So I think that when you look at a brand or not a brand, you have to look at the value proposition. And you have to start saying, okay, well, if I go to 100% or if I go to an independent, now what am I going to get? And what am I going to spend? And look at it as an investment. And then go talk to a brand, because everybody's individual, everybody's different. But I hear a lot of people saying, I need to build my brand. Well, I'm here to tell you that it took 40 years for Century 21 to build the brand that it is. And you can't just go out and invest, you know, your money and in 10 years have a brand like you can here. But what you can do is be relevant in your market, be relevant with your SOI, be relevant in your neighborhood, and really farm the area. So if you have those tools, or you're looking to invest in those tools, you need to look at that as, what is my return on my investment? So if I spend that money and I don't have the brand, was that a good investment? Or if you go to a brand that offers those tools as part of the service, and then you take a look at what is your return on the investment, then was that brand franchise fee worth it for you? Because at the end of the day, you are going to pay to be successful in this business. And unfortunately, and my last comment is, there's a lot of companies out there that target all of us. I'm still a licensed broker here in Nevada. They target us for websites. They target us for every type of material there is. And so it's hard sometimes to look through the weeds. And that's where a national company can say, okay, here's what we know works, here's how it is. And with Century, what we do is our advertising, if you see it at the NFL, at the Super Bowl, is it's our agents are smarter, bolder, faster. We never forgot that the agents are our clients. Okay? We don't make a living unless you guys sell a house. So that would be my answer. It really depends on your own business model and what works for you and what you're going to invest in. But don't look at the percentage, look at the bottom line dollars that you're going to put in your pocket, because that's what it's really about. I think.
Mark?
You know, and not to repeat some of the stuff that Bob shared, you know, I think it comes down to two questions. And, you know, the industry seems to be moving in two very distinct directions. One is on an income statement, just let's look at the expenses and let's lower those expenses down as much as we possibly can. And we joke around here about 100% or whatever, but you know what? There is a thought process around that concept that says, look, you know what, not to be rude, I'm not speaking bad about brokers, but you know, there's really no value there, it's all me. And so my goal is to pay as little to my broker as I possibly can, because there's no value there. And what I see is that's that one mindset from that sales executives. But there's other sales executives who have a very different mindset than that. And they're like, well, we got to control expenses. You don't want to just spend money and waste dollars. But there is an investment into your business, okay? And I know that I am going to invest based on, this hits right to his point, to value. The other thing I notice with this group of sales executives who are looking at the revenue side of the income statement. So you've got someone looking at the expense side, and you've got the other group of agents going, I'm only going to really be successful if I drive revenue. I have to make more money. So you can lower my expenses down to zero, but unless I perform and I can grow my business, I'm really not winning. Okay, and so you've got this group of sales executives over here going, how do I grow my business? How do I take it to the next level? And they look at things differently. I don't care if it's a franchise fee. I don't care if you're buying a tool, investing in technology. You need to look at it based on what your goals are. Here's it in a nutshell. If you're sitting here today and you are making what you want to make, you're dealing with the average price ranges that you want to deal with, you're not discounting your commissions because you're worth it and you're charging what you're worth and you're not discounting it, and you're happy making what you make, don't go anywhere. You don't need to go anywhere. You are achieving your goals. But here's the lie we tell ourselves. If you're sitting there going, I need to make more money, I've been in this same concept for a while and I'm not making what I need to make, I'm not achieving my why, I am discounting my commissions, I'm not succeeding at the level I want, then guess what, guys? You really got to look at that. Okay, and say, where can I invest those dollars, that time to increase my business? And what I see brands tend to offer is more of that environment, the systems, the tools, the support, okay? And you've got to see, you've got to measure it for yourself. Is there value here or is there not value here? One last point is, remember, all companies are different, brand are brand. But it's how you utilize that brand and how that company utilizes its training, its support, its culture, its environment to help you achieve what you want to achieve.
Trish, I know you said you're local, but how does, in your idea, you work for a small franchise, like you were at Exit for a while, now you have a Signature here. What made you change? What was that transition for you? What pushed you over the edge to go?
Well, one of the things that I have been noticing in talking with agents is that more and more agents are looking at the dollars that they're spending, and you heard it from both of the other speakers, is that is there a return on investment and what is the value, and is it coinciding with what your goals are? And for me personally, I came to the conclusion that the tools that are offered with a franchise, I feel are underutilized by many agents. And many agents that I'm talking to are paying a franchise fee, but very few agents within the brokerage are actually using those tools. And there's an interesting, I pulled some stats. I just went into NAR, and this was actually in the NAR site. NAR March 2014 Field Guide, Franchises versus Independent Firms. It says, according to the 2013 NAR member profile, 56% of realtors are affiliated as an independent, non-franchise company. And I'm not going to go on and read the rest of it, but there is a trend that more and more agents are looking at independent firms. And quite frankly, I feel that to me it's not a battle. There is no right or wrong. It's what matches up with what your goals are. And as Mark said, if you're achieving your goals, then stay where you're at. But it's like Cinderella. It's the shoe doesn't fit everybody. You're going to go and you're going to find the right. You're going to go and you're going to talk to people and you're going to talk to people, and all of a sudden you're going to put that shoe on and you're going to see, oh my gosh, this is the right fit. But sometimes it takes some time to make that happen. But I made the change myself personally because I felt that with the age of the internet, there are so many tools out there that us as independents can offer agents, and whereas 10, 15 years ago, we weren't able to do that.
That's okay. Pablo, you're independent. You've always been independent?
No, I own the Exit franchise also
Okay.
for 3.5 years. And what Trish said, it has a lot of sense because now with the internet, people that are looking for houses, you know, and customers that I have, you know, they don't say, you know, I went, they say, I went to Zillow, I went to Realtor.com. You know, that's changing. So people are getting more educated out there. There's more with the internet. Now it's like agents, you know, we have the board, you have classes all day there. And I think the value of each company is different, even if it's a franchise or non-franchise, because I think everything falls down to the support and leadership of that office. Doesn't matter if you're Century One, Brookshire, or United, or Signature. It depends who's running the show, I think, you know, at the bottom of the day. And if you're getting that support, that training, that being there for the agents, I have a passion for that, you know. I like to help people because I came from the bottom, and I know how it is when you're struggling. But I think the first thing is leadership and support in every office. That's what makes the office run successful. You know, if you have that in each office. And I think that's what I bring to the table as a broker in my office. Okay, and I know my agents tell me all the time, this so and so called me, they're trying to recruit me, this and that. You know, I tell them the door is open. You know, if you're a good agent, come back if it doesn't work. You know, but agents move left and right, and like you said, you know, an agent's gonna fit where they're gonna fit, and if they're getting the benefit from that office, they're gonna be happy, and they're gonna stay there with you. You know, it just depends. I think more of the leadership and the support that you get from your office. And if you're doing the training, you know, and you're doing the right things as a broker, as a leader, then your agents are gonna be successful if they're willing and able agents.
No, fantastic. We all have a variety of offices here, so I guess I should have been asked at the beginning. Now we can go into your company. How many offices you have, agents, or how long has your company been around? Let's go start with Pablo.
It's been like 3 years. I left the franchise, so it's been 3 years. I have about 70 agents right now.
Trish?
Signature actually just had their year anniversary.
And Carrot Top. Was Carrot Top there? Somebody posted on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Somebody tagged it.
We have 2 offices, Summerlin office and then the Henderson office, and we have 140 agents.
We have 5 locations in Las Vegas. We have 10 locations in throughout Phoenix, Arizona. About 1,600 sales executives, and the main company was started in 1979 in Las Vegas.
We have 5 offices here in Las Vegas. We have 7,000 offices globally, and we're in 77 countries and about 102,000 agents. So that's what Century is.
Oh, fantastic. So, having multiple offices for the far right there, what are some of the biggest challenges you see? Holding 5 offices, having Arizona and here, obviously having 2 offices as well. What are some of the challenges you guys are seeing for the agent's perspective that they come to you on a regular basis?
Starting with me?
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of things happen with agents, especially what we've seen in the last 5 years. We've gone from where we used to be a listing and selling agent to suddenly, if you're going to survive, you got to be a buyer's agent or you're going to have REOs. And now we're back to you need to do the full service. So we've really had to follow the market as a group and as a family to stay in touch with what's going on in the market. I think from a day-to-day aspect of what a broker and what an office provides is that support, is that understanding of the market. Your job is to be out there selling things. It's up to the management and the company to provide you with the tools and the systems. It's important to know that, you know, what are the absorption rates? What makes you different? For instance, there's a tool we use that shows how many views a customer gets on every listing they have, and they get that every week automatically. So when you list a home, because NAR finds that realtors, we get a bad rap. They say the number one complaint from consumers is that we don't communicate. So giving you a tool that says, look, you set the customer up on this, they're going to see exactly how many hits their property has gotten over the past week, month, and 6 months. That's a tool that will help you close more transactions. So I think it's really up to the company and the broker to understand the market, to educate you, keep you informed of the bigger picture of what's going on in your market so that you can take your own private business and really do well with it. So that's what I see as the challenge.
Two key points here that many people don't know about our specific organization, which isn't even consistent through Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, is one, we have an exclusive in the marketplace. So you cannot be Berkshire Hathaway Home Services unless you're with our organization. And the reason that's very important to us in both Phoenix and here is reputation and quality of that. Because as you know, in even some of the franchises, okay, if it's separately owned, you don't control someone else's business, and they can do whatever they want based on their business, but you run yours very differently. So we want to control that. So that's number one in having that exclusivity. The second aspect about our model that I think is very different even throughout the industry is we basically are set up as a business service company. So what we do is help agents grow brokerages under the auspices of our company. So the revenue goes through that, what we call that lead agent. So when an agent hires what is known in the industry as a team associate, okay, we have no split structure with that team associate, zero. That lead agent has all the split structure. So it gives them the opportunity to build a brokerage without having to sign long-term leases, deal with their own E&O, liability, all the stuff that doesn't make you money. But if you're in business, everyone up here knows you got to deal with. So those are the two main differences that helps us from a standpoint of running numerous offices around. When you get large enough, you can build that infrastructure that can help service your company overall. The hardest part, if you don't have that size, the biggest challenge is being able to afford, okay, to bring on infrastructure, even if you know you need it. If you can't afford to do it, you tend to live without it. And in the industry, it's one of the topics with many brokers around the country is how do we offer the services that we know we need to, but we're not at the size or the level of business to offer those services.
Now, Pablo, this question actually for you. You know, everybody says real estate is local. So in creating a business plan for your organization, without the global presence, essentially, not necessarily outside of the internet syndication, what are some things you're doing, trying to maintain your business and be successful?
Well, recruiting, I think it's one of the main thing as a broker. If you're going to become a broker, you got to recruit, which I'm pretty good at. I should be doing it more, but I'm still selling, right? Because I started, again, I was at Exit for 2.5 years, went to Independent, United, but I started with 0 agents. Just me and my assistant, and that's it. And I started building it from scratch a couple years ago. So I know I could get 150 agents in my office easy if I'm just there prospecting for agents all day, but I'm not doing it, which, you know, that's my next plan. This year, we just opened a 3,500 square feet office. We had a 1,700 square feet office, but I learned in this business that you gotta walk before you run. You know, I had a 5,000 square feet office with Exit, you know, with a lot of overhead, and I learned from that. So now I'm structuring it the right way, and also I have the experience under my belt, and I'm out there in the trenches with my agents, and I have my sales meetings. I have we just did a boot camp in my office. So the training, I think it's very valuable for me. So that's what I'm implementing, so I can grow and have a successful office.
Now, Trish, you said you guys have 2 offices in Signature. What are some of the advantages that you see without having to have a massive overhead? Like Mark said, he has 5 offices here, 1,600 agents. What are some of the advantages or disadvantages you might see in your business plan or your planning ahead for your organization?
Well, I think the advantage we have right now is we don't have the high overhead.
having the two offices, you know, in the two different locations, it allows us to be like a boutique brokerage where there is the intimate feel amongst the agents and that family type of atmosphere. I think that would be the, you know, and there's the more of the one-on-one, the personalization. You know, we have agents that will come to us that will come from larger brokerages. And I talked earlier, it's all about what is the right fit for the person. Everybody has different personalities, they have different needs. Some agents like a more corporate feel, some agents get lost. And so we will have agents that will come to us and say, you know what, I was with such and such brokerage and I just felt like a number, I got lost. And for them, it's important to be in a smaller, more intimate feeling brokerage. So I think that that's the advantage for us right now. You know, obviously, we will be growing, but, you know, we're not at the point where Mark is yet, but, you know, watch out, Mark.
Yeah, this question is kind of off kilter now because you own your own brokerage. Somebody just thought I'd ask it. If you die tomorrow, how will your company run? Can your company run without you? Because everybody who wants to switch brokerages or thinking about other brokerages, their fear is always branding, name brand. So the brand that carries for, let's say, or Century 21 or Marcus, can it run without you? Does it matter? Are you the head of your particular organization or group? Are you the face of your organization? Can you just look at that and say, yeah, without me, this organization would be nothing, or it can run seamless without me? Mark, you can.
Well, first, of course, I think it's a relevant question. You know, people don't realize that 40 brokerages close in Las Vegas per quarter. Now, some may reopen again because you know what, for whatever reason, they're referred to me sometimes, and I get these calls of, but I had commissions over there. Doesn't matter. That's out of business, and welcome to the United States of America. You can open up another business, new LLC, and start over again. It's a beautiful thing, and you don't have to deal with a lot of that stuff later. That's the way business works. But you know what? For me personally, that's another benefit of having the depth and the large aspect of the infrastructure that I have. Look, you know what? I hope that I'm the face of my organization. I love that. I want that. But I will tell you right up front, there's no way I can do what I do and would have any of the success I have without the team that supports my organization. The only reason I can exist is because I have that infrastructure to build a foundation so I can go do these growth acquisitions and do the training that I do. We have an advanced business training stuff that has me traveling to different markets. There's no way I could do that, okay, and connect with sales executives in that manner without the infrastructure of the support I have. That comes with size. You just can't afford to do it otherwise. So if I pass away tomorrow, I am very confident that I have the infrastructure that would handle it. Clearly, they wouldn't do as good a job as me.
Spoken like a trooper.
There you go.
Pablo, I know you said you started your company, but how do you feel about the strength of your company?
Right now, we're just building the foundation. I only have about 70 agents. I don't consider myself a big company. I'm putting systems in place, so like Mark said, you know, so I can be out there doing what I have to do to grow as an organization. But right now, we're just a new company, and I'm the base of the company now. But yeah, of course, later on, I'm gonna have systems where I could duplicate myself and leave the office to recruit other agents, to go around the United States and learn more about the business. But right now, we're building the foundation that Mark has now.
Trish, what's your two offers?
Similar answer as Mark. You know, we have it set up as a business and have a great leadership team. And quite frankly, if I were to die tomorrow, we'd have Brandon Roberts back there, and we'd have Michael Hiltz, my husband, and life would go on. So I feel very, very confident.
Now, Bob, you're a little bit different situation. Like you said, you're more of a corporate level kind of offices. Now, in your independent offices, you know, like Century 21, all the offices are independently owned and operated. They run their business differently. In dealing with this situation of having, let's say, I don't know if anybody remembers Century 21 Advantage, Money World, GR Realty, there's a lot of Century 21s out there. What are the guidelines that you feel that, is there a hierarchy in your corporate of guidelines? Or do you run into what Mark said earlier of, they have to have every franchise located because they have to control the quality? Do you run into a lack of, I know you're not going to say yes, but is there a lack of quality between offices since you have to run so many different brokerages?
I'm glad you asked that question because it's really important. You know, if you go out to a McDonald's restaurant, every McDonald's, the French fries taste pretty much the same. Any franchise is only as good as their franchisees. 2 years ago, our president closed 700 different franchisees because they were not representing the brand consistently. We need to be consistent, especially in Las Vegas, because we have people moving from all over the world into our town, as we all know, and the consistency is very important. But what's interesting on top of that is you go into different markets. For instance, in Arizona, the majority of the offices all have individual brands, like Arizona Foothills. They don't have names. You go up into Utah, and there's family franchises that have been there for 30, 40 years, Harmon and Associates. These are families that have been selling real estate from generation to generation. And so there's a whole different part of leadership on the franchise, but when it comes down to answer your question, we have very strict guidelines to be a franchisee. In order for someone to just even start to be a franchisee, they have to go through quite a vetting process. They have to, their credit, their financials, everything has to be in line because, once again, our ultimate customer is you, the agent. Okay, so if you affiliate with Century 21 and they go under or they can't pay you, that's the worst thing in the world for us, so we won't let that happen. We always make sure that our franchisees are very solvent and in good shape, and if they aren't, we try and help them. If not, then they're gone. So that's how I'd answer that. And if I died tomorrow, unfortunately, they would just hire somebody else and everything.
So what's your salary? No, we have about 7 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Because we will allow them to do their 60-second elevator speech to move to their company. You guys didn't know that, did you? That wasn't part of the list. Does anybody have any questions at this time? I'd like to open it up. Wow, you guys answered every question they had. I think you can recruit everybody. Where we at?
With the new market coming in with Zillow and all these other websites where you can search for properties and do all these search engines where you can, I mean, pretty much now you get a client and they're more educated than we are in regards to what the market looks like. Where do you see and what is going to be the biggest problem that the real estate agent practitioner is going to have in the future?
Well, I can tell you just from a brand perspective, someone asked, we just bought Zip Realty, and we bought them mainly for their software. That's why we bought them. They're based up in the Bay Area. And somebody asked the chairman of our board, and Realogy is the owner of Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, ERA, Better Homes and Gardens. So this man's like the main guy. And so they asked that question, you know, where do you see Zillow in this? And he says, you have to remember who Zillow's customer is. Zillow's customer is the real estate business. They are not interested in getting in, they're interested in doing what they're doing to make money. And if there was something they were doing that was against us as a group, do you think that companies like Realogy would advertise with them? You know, I think that is something that's put out there that isn't founded. I think that what is founded is that today consumers want all that information. It used to be they had to come to us, right, for the MLS. Not any longer. They can get it anywhere. So that's where, going back to the other question, what is your broker, what is your branch, what is your management providing you so that you can provide your client to ensure that you're a one-stop answer machine for them? Because that's why they go to Zillow, to get the misinformation, I mean the information about what's going on.
That's a different class, by the way. Good.
You know, if you hear anything today, hear this. Okay. We are in a relationship business, and technology will change. Same thing, and I mean this respectfully, what we go over with each and every vendor partner that we have is our advice to you is stay relevant. Because as soon as our sales executives don't love you anymore, we're going to go out searching for the next best thing. So stay relevant and continue moving your business forward. I'm not, you know, a tech guy. We don't run a technology company. we utilize technology to advance our sales executives' production. And that can change and evolve. My advice to you is, here's what you don't do. And it goes back to Bob's statement around consumer. Don't forget about the consumer. You know, even as a sales executive, when you talk about 100%, no consumer has ever said to you, you know, I'll work with you as long as you have a high split. Okay? They don't say that. Don't get caught up in split structures. The consumers matter. They have opinions, and they want it all. Just like Bob said, they want it all. Yeah, they want you, and they want the brand, in my personal opinion. It's what I believe. It's why I spend millions of dollars on a brand, because I do believe the consumer, brands matter to consumers. But that doesn't mean you knowing your technology doesn't matter. You being skilled, your skill set, this idea that I've been in the business 5 years, I'm all that in a bag of chips and I have nothing else to learn, I don't buy that, okay? I've been in the business 30 years and I got a whole hell of a lot to learn. It never stops, specifically with this gentleman's question that as things evolve and change, you have to evolve and change or you're going to be left behind, just like any broker will be left behind unless they evolve and change and grow through the process.
I agree with Mark, and that is that we have to evolve as agents, and we have to learn, and we have to continue to improve ourselves. And I want to give you an example of I'm a selling broker, and I believe that we as agents have to brand ourselves as well. And I was just given a referral, a very, very high-level executive who is selling his home, and he was interviewing 4 agents, 3 of which were with brands. And I was the last one that came in there, and he said, well, there's no doubt we're going to go with you. And he told me the reasons why. And it wasn't because of the brands, it was because, and these were, I know the other 3 agents, all very, very, very good agents, but it was because of the knowledge I brought, it was because of the level of information I brought, just various things that I did. So the important thing that we have to understand is there's going to be a lot of information out there. Consumers are going to be very, very knowledgeable, and they're going to know what's happening in the market. And you as agents, it's very, very important that you get educated. And you need to be with a brokerage that is going to educate you. That's very, 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 very important.
Cool. Good. No, go Pablo. You get to start our 60-second elevator speech.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, man. Recruit everybody.
All right. So,
Yeah, you work for him.
Except for the ones in the back.
I have the room mine already. So, like Trish said, we have to get educated as professionals, and like Montalvo said, help people. They appreciate it, especially Hispanic people. They're loyal. If you help people, they're going to come back to you. I've done this 14 years, helping people get their homes. Not thinking about the commission, just thinking about the service I do. And that's one of the things I teach my agents at the offices. You know, you got to do the service first, and then the money will follow, okay? So, for example, when I was at RE/MAX in 2005, I was #1 in closed transactions in the state of Nevada and RE/MAX. Did RE/MAX give me 1 lead? No. They were all mine because of the customer service I did, because I answered my phones on the weekends, I answer my phones 24/7, and that's the kind of service I gave my clients. And they're loyal clients, they come back to me. I'm happy when a client calls me, I closed their house 10 years ago, and they're still calling me. You know, I made a lot of mistakes. I'm learning to put businesses in my place, in my business. That's the way I'm teaching my agents to run their business. Put systems in your business, change your mindset. That's the first thing. You gotta change your mindset. Have a positive mindset every morning. Be grateful every morning. And that, everything else flows. You know, we have a training room in my office, and I have all kinds of quotes. You know, push your limits, leave all doubt behind. And right in the middle, I have a quote that says, make love your biggest goal. Because if you have love for God, your family, your work, yourself, everything else flows. That's what I'm teaching my agents on my office.
Thank you. We're kind of out of time, so that 60-second elevator speech will be 30 seconds now. I think Pablo did that on purpose. Trish?
Signature Gallery of Homes, Henderson and Summerlin office, Signature Realty Group. And we offer, we're full-service brokerage, training, and 100% split, and lots of education for you, and technology. We want to help you. We want to help you get to the next level and get the highest and best out of you.
So we're 100% too.
I don't think Mark is going to disclose any of this list, but go ahead, Mark.
No, we have a 100% plan as well. It's, again, if I'm going to say it this way, the commission will never be it it's 100% or 120%, will not be the reason you're successful. So what I would advise all of you to do, regardless, listen, you're fortunate. We've got a lot of quality companies up here with people who care about the people that they work with. You can see that clearly. So what I would look at is look at your business, really sit down openly and honestly with yourself and say, what do I want? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I working so hard? What are my whys? What do I want to create? Sit down, look at that, and then ask yourself, what do I need to succeed? And whichever opportunity works for you that you can actually succeed what you're trying to, you know what? That's as good as it gets. And if you ever think Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Nevada Properties is that company, we'll be here.
I know there's an elevator corporate.
Oh, no, I got one.
Oh, you got one?
I got one. So the bottom line is your ROI. That's the bottom line is your ROI. So as you go out and you meet with the brokers, the one thing you should ask is, after that meeting, could the tools that I am learning at that brokerage or the system that they have, would I close 1 to 2 more transactions a year? Okay? Because if you join a franchise, that's what you need to do. You need to close 1 transaction, maybe 2, depending on your volume, to pay for the franchise fees for the entire year. And if you can't close 1 or 2 deals with the tools that are offered in our brand, then you're probably in the wrong business, because that's how strong they are. So that would be my elevator speech. Take a look at your ROI.
I just want to say one thing that I learned that I heard a long time ago that is so true, and it just kind of touches on technology, and it was that technology will never replace you as an agent, but the agent that uses technology will. So take that with you.
Very good.
I do. I read it every day.
Thank you, everyone.
I love that. That's good.